So now that we have created our class list, we're going to go ahead and start making some assessments. Now, I don't want you to think of using the CNTOs for only formal assessments. They can be used for anything from gauging how your students are doing on spelling tests to vocabulary reviews, anything of the sort, and I'll show you a few ways that you can use them. So what you're going to want to do now is you're going to open up your smartboard. So again, your home screen down here, there's a blue button for smartboard, and you'll just click notebook. I'm not going to click it here because I actually opened it already, because it does take a little while to load. So now that I have my smartboard open, there are a few ways that I can actually create the assessment, and please feel free to pause this video at any point so that you're kind of keeping up with me here. So remember, anytime that you're creating a smart response assessment, you want to use this gold key here. Okay, so I opened up my regular smart notebook and I'm going to use the smart response key. We're not going to worry with making it pretty right now. I'm just going to show you how to insert questions, and then you can go back. I'll show you how you can modify an assessment that you already have, or how you can make it pretty, I guess. So the first thing you want to do with your smart response is insert a title page, because what this will do is it will group the questions together. So we're going to insert a title page here, and I'm just going to make something up here. I'm going to say test, and I'm going to click on the type. You can make it an assessment, a quiz, an exam, a test, or custom. I like to do custom when I'm doing this for classwork, and I'll type in actually classwork and then save it. You do have to insert some sort of type here. Most people will probably end up using it for quizzes or tests, but again, I'm going to use it for my classwork here. You don't have to insert the subject or the topic. This key is going to be important when we start to look up our results, so I want to make sure that I put that in accurately. I'm going to do this test. My subject is going to be fun. Again, you don't have to do that, so I'll just go ahead and click add, and now my title page is there. This can easily be modified here by simply clicking on it. Left clicking on it to highlight it, and then I'll go ahead and insert grade 3. And we don't need these, and it already has updated my subject as fun, and I'm going to go ahead and put the date in as today. So we are December 9th, 2014. Now when your text box goes down like this, all you need to do is expand it just a little, and then we're ready to go. Now you'll notice that as soon as I started touching this screen, my smart response option went away. Have no fear, we're in smart response, creating a CNTO. Just simply click on the gold key again, and we're back. Now it will walk you through the actual process of creating an assessment. So in my properties here, this is my all about my title page, and it says this assessment has no questions in it, so add a question to the next page. Before I do this, I want to just show you some of the delivery options that you have when you actually give your assessment. So it says allow all students to answer all questions at their own pace, or the currently displayed question only. So we're going to start with the currently displayed question only, and then show results to students after you stop collecting responses, after all questions are answered, after each question is answered, or don't show grades on the clickers. I love showing the grades because again, it's that immediate feedback, and it also gives them a chance to go back and change their answers once you've had that discussion. If you're doing it, if I'm doing it with like a novel discussion. However, if I'm doing something where it's for a grade with my vocabulary, I'm going to let them see the results after I collect responses, just so that they can't go back and modify. But for the interest of this, I'm going to go after each question is answered, and obviously I want to remember my names. So now I have my assessment delivery mode updated, and I'm ready to add a question to the page. Again, I know I'm kind of going through this fast, so if at any point you need to pause this video, please go ahead and do so. Okay, so I'm ready to insert a question now. So as soon as I click add a question to the next page, this little dialog box will pop up, and it asks me what type of question would you like to insert. So yes or no questions. There's actually a key on your smart response that says yes or no. A Y for yes, a N for no. You can do a multiple choice. This is not the same as a multiple answer. It's A, B, C, D, and they choose one. You can insert a number, fraction, or decimal. This is going to be great for math, but you'd be surprised how frequently you would use this in a reading instruction. I don't know, suppose the question was how many days was the boy gone on vacation with his family. You could do a number question and then follow it up with a multiple choice question or a multiple answer question with something from the text. And then there's true false and then multiple answer. This is the one that we're up in the upper grades, we're going to tend to lean towards more just because of the park assessment. Now there's more than one choice. So we're typically going to be in this multiple choice, multiple answer box. But again, any of these will be appropriate for depending upon what you're using this for. So I'm going to go ahead and click, let's just do a multiple choice for now. And so now I click the next button and it's asking me to actually type my question below. So this is where you need to be prepared for whatever it is that you're going to use your Syntios for. So I'm doing this for tests for fun. So would you like to use the Syntios in class more? Okay, you can then highlight all of your words here and change the color, which is not important right now because we're not making it pretty yet, but we can if we'd like. We can change the font size, the font shape, the same way you would if you were doing this in a Word document. If you wanted to insert the standards here, you could. It would show up when you print out your response reports. So this would probably be a very basic question. These are not set up yet here, so we're just going to go ahead and not add these yet. And then I'm going to go ahead and click next. And then they ask you how many answer choices you'd like. So we'll just stick with 3. And we'll go with yes, we would like to use them more. No, I don't care about them. Or I'm not too sure yet. Okay, I don't need this here. And just so that I'm being consistent. And then once I have my answers, I'll go ahead and click the next button and it will tell you to select the answer that is correct. Now it's very important that you do this accurately because again, this is going to be, once your students start responding, the answer that will be correct or marked incorrect on their Syntios. So do you want to use the Syntios more in class? Yes, I do. You can make this an opinion question. Okay, so for our purposes, this would be an opinion question. It would not have a point value because obviously it is an opinion. Or you can make it a 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, however many points you would like it to be worth. So I'm going to go with this is an opinion question and finish. And now once I'm finished, the question you can see has appeared in my Syntio document. It automatically created a new blank page for me. So when I'm creating my assessments, I do not want to create a blank page. And then again, my icon went away when I clicked in the blank space. So I'm going to go back to my Smart Response icon. And there are more options here. So I can show the answer and I can always change it if I would like by clicking Properties and Show. I can show the progress. So I have not started this question because my Syntios are not logged in or turned on. So I wouldn't want to start the question now. And then I can look at next steps. So what would you like to do? I can add a question to the next page, make the next page a content page, which means it would not have a question on it. It would have some sort of content. So if you did spelling, which word has the oi sound? Well, then you could have a question that answers it. And then the next page could be a content page, which would actually explain the answer. Or I like to have a discussion about it. And so I would just keep going by adding a question to the next page. And again, it'll ask you which question type you would like. We're going to choose multiple answer this time, and I'm going to ask, in what ways can the Syntios be used in class? And I'll give you some options here. We'll say spelling, vocabulary, we'll say reading discussions, and then I wanted to add more, so I'll just go ahead and click it and add more, and I'll say math fact fluency. Okay, so there are many options here. There are more. I'm just going to do this for now. And I'll go ahead and click next. And now that this is a multiple answer, I'm going to select all the questions that apply. So this is where it's going to be important because this is again a points question. So if you make this out of 1 point, then you have spelling, vocabulary, reading. discussions, math, fact, fluency, all of these correct would give the students 1 point. Or you could change the point value to 4, and now if they chose 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them, they would still be able to get a point. Okay, so I go ahead and add that question, and now look at that, it set a new page up for me already. Now suppose I'm not happy with the order of these questions. I'll click my File tab here the same way I would to view a regular Smartboard document, and I can drag and drop, you can see where the blue highlighted, any of the slides that I would like to move, and it will automatically update the question number. So once it's in the system correctly, I don't have to worry about updating the question number. If I move it, it will update. Okay, so I just put them back in the order that I originally had them because I like them in that order. And then you can decide, add another question, make the next question a content page, or I decided I'm finished, so I'm going to end the test here, and it will automatically create a new blank page for me that shows me that the test has been ended here. Okay, now you are ready to start previewing or administering your Smart Response Assessment. Before we go, I'm going to show you a way that you can sort of make this a little more pretty. So we've already changed the font color here. If I go to my Properties key here, I can change the fill effects of my screen. So instead of having no fill like I had before, I can have a solid fill. I can choose any of the other options here. Make it a little more fancy. I tend to just go solid fill because it's easier on the eyes when we're actually presenting. And because my font color is so dark, I think I'm going to go with a lighter background color. So maybe something like this blue is pretty. Okay, so now I have my font color. I'm going to remember this one because I'm going to go to the next slide by clicking this arrow here. And I'm going to click solid fill. And I'm going to add that one to that page as well. Now, instead of having my plain white background, now I have a little more color. There are more options for this, which I will demonstrate in another screencast. But for now, this has you set up to create an assessment. The last thing that I need to show you is how to save it. So once you've created assessment, you always want to tell it where to go so that you can find it easily. So I'm going to save this assessment as, and I'm going to tell it where I want it to go. So I like to keep mine in my personal, in my documents, and then I have a ton of folders set up here, and I'm just going to put this one in my technology team because I have this set up intentionally, and I'm going to save it as test screencast. And then once I do that, I'll click save, and now I will be able to easily find my document next time. And now you are all ready to create a Smart Response Assessment.